Hi, my name is Angela, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my PGY2 Ambulatory Care Pharmacy Residency training experience. I am no longer a PGY2 resident. I finished a couple days ago, so similar to when I finished PGY1 residency, I kind of did a video just reflecting on the year, so I'll do one for this video, and then that'll kind of be mostly it for this channel. So if you're interested in that, just keep on watching. Some strengths of my residency training this year: if you are considering doing an ambulatory care residency or you're wondering what's the difference after 1 year, aren't you done? Well, a second year really gave me a lot of extra responsibility in the ambulatory care environment, so I would say it's definitely really good on-the-job training for ambulatory care. Now, I'm not going into my position quite yet. I have a little bit of a break, but I expect to feel very competent in most areas ambulatory care related and academic related a little bit too, given the training I chose. So you get to run clinics on your own. That was a great experience, and I don't think I would have gotten that anywhere else. And by that I mean running clinics alone, but then getting feedback or having immediate support in those early days when you didn't really know how to run a clinic. So that was really good. And then real world problems that come up in clinical practice and managing your own practice that I got to manage on my own and then get feedback on or double check my answer with, which is totally different than starting out a new job and kind of being left on your own and expected to just know how to do it. I continued to get to study academic interests, so I chose this program partially because it had a heavy focus in that. And I had some newer projects that had more responsibilities, given that I had already done certain things in my first year residency. So for example, I created a 2-hour lecture, which I gave to P1 pharmacy students, and also helped lecture in a couple electives along with my co-residents. So those were new experiences that kind of involved a lot more creation rather than facilitation. I also had the benefit of having preceptors follow me throughout the year. I don't know that this is just in ambulatory care, but since we have a lot of longitudinal experiences, usually if you have a preceptor for one experience, they'll be your preceptor for the entire experience. So the benefit of that is that you get people who really have seen you closely for the whole year, show you how you've progressed or give you recommendations all along the way, and that can be really nice to have that same person providing you feedback all along. Otherwise, you have kind of a new person each time just trying to get to know you, and then once they do, it's already time to leave. So this was a different and good experience because there's pluses and minuses with both. I had a co-resident, which not all PGY2 AmCare programs do, but I really liked that because you can share the experiences of the year with them and kind of help balance the work. And a lot of times our projects were together with certain, especially academic projects. So having someone else to ask questions and see if they interpreted the assignments or responsibilities the same as you was super helpful. I also got to learn just how the ambulatory care team or side of things got to be run within a health system, and also on this health system that I was a part of, they have a national team and it's kind of across multiple states. So just seeing how ambulatory care is viewed and or prioritized was a unique aspect that I don't think I would have gotten to see if I were just to go straight into ambulatory care without a residency. I also had the opportunity to have a lot of meaningful conversations with a lot of seasoned pharmacists. So once you get to know them all year long, you can feel more comfortable opening up about things that you have questions on or struggle with or think that they could give you advice on. So that was definitely a plus of being in this residency training. Some weaknesses, for myself, I had a different institution for PGY1, so there was a whole new program I had to learn, a new culture, a new health system, practices, processes, people, all that stuff. So that, I would say, is just a weakness, but that's really if you only decide to go to a different institution for your second year training. And I've heard from many people that gives you even more broad of an experience, and you shouldn't really see that as a negative, but anyway, I had to move through a lot of different clinics this year, and as I was looking for PGY2 residencies, I actually considered that, and I would encourage anyone considering PGY2 residencies to think, how often am I going to be traveling? I had to travel pretty much every day to a new site, and that's fine. It wasn't that difficult, but it didn't leave much room to have like the same environment or like a homey feeling or place, like this is my clinic or this is where I go each day and I know what to do in here. So that was just a disadvantage, I think. Sometimes all the responsibility placed on you in PGY2 residency, because they're trying to cram in, 3 years of practice into 1 year, is overwhelming. So while it prepares you, it is overwhelming while you're being prepared. I also felt the difficulty of balancing the needs of like your residency program and with the other institutions, and figuring out just who takes priority and where do you fall as a resident and how do you have those conversations. So you're kind of this learner role, or you're not in like a leadership position, but yet you're expected to like show forth your experiences and show forth your knowledge and take on those opportunities. I just got confused, honestly, at times whose job it was to resolve what. So that's a negative that you'll have to deal with as a resident, learning those things versus an employee where it's a little bit more clear what your responsibilities are. In my residency experience, and I wonder if this is true in a lot of AmCare, you just don't have as much face-to-face interaction with your preceptors, with your RPD, with your co-resident at times, so somewhat felt isolating compared to the inpatient environment where there is a ton of people all the time. I had the same feeling with PGY1 training this year. Essentially, when you have a lot of tasks flung at you and things that you have to learn, just getting it done sometimes is tough when it's something new. And then it just was really hard for me. I think I talked about this in the feedback video, to just get feedback on the difficult situation and the difficult task, and then implement that feedback quickly with a new project or several projects that you're doing. So that process was pretty much just as difficult as it was in PGY 1 year. And then also having to balance my professional career goals with this residency. It was tough, and it may be different in different programs, but my own job search and having that process and those discussions just can be felt like an extra task, or maybe not something that the residency program you're at focuses on. So that's just something that could be difficult. For me, at times it was difficult, and then at other times it was very easy. So not sure what it would be like for you, but just my own personal reflection. Residency was way harder than I thought it would be. I still love pharmacy, don't get me wrong, glad I chose it. And I'm really glad I chose to do the second residency, because the question I get asked a lot from people is, can I just go into AmCare with a 1-year residency? And I don't know what to tell them, because most of the jobs that I looked for this year required or strongly recommended to have a PGY2 residency in AmCare. So I don't know if you'll be as competitive. To me, it really comes down to who you know. So if you know a position or something that only needs 1 year, or someone got in with 1 year, then go for that. But I think there's a certain security with the competitiveness of these jobs, but also for yourself, like I was talking about, getting that extra experience. Just feel way more confident going into things. Maybe you're more likely to be successful and find your preferred position quicker. I talked about burnout in another video, but I just had times felt like just things weren't lining up, either my feedback or my performance, or just stress instead of an excitement with a new project. It just became very difficult. So that's my own reflection, and this may have been exacerbated by the fact that I had just a hard time focusing on my health and prioritizing it, just getting it even to be stable with everything going on and not having a problem creep up. So I personally wish that would have gone differently. I don't know how I would have had it gone differently, but that was just a personal thing I experienced this year. Being a couple days out from residency, I do feel a little bit lighter as far as not a lot of work. I don't have to go into work scheduled like I used to, but I still am studying for board certification, which I probably will do a video on how I studied for that. So maybe another video after this, but I just feel kind of shocked from what residency did, and don't really know what life will be like. It's just such a different experience. I think a lot of people who go into residency, whether it's physician or pharmacist or whatever, I don't even know all the residencies out there for different professions, but it's just its own unique thing. So for myself, I'm just confused. I'm just not sure what's going to happen, but regardless, it may not be everyone's experience, and this is just me sharing my experience. So I'm excited for my upcoming job. There's preparation that comes with that. And like I said, I'll probably do a video on the board certification for ambulatory care that I will take either in August or September. So stay tuned for that if that's something you're interested in. But thank you all for participating in this channel. If you like this video, go ahead and like it and share it with someone you think it would be helpful for. But otherwise, thank you all for the good questions, or for people reaching out and the encouragement. I really appreciate it.